Hello, welcome back. At this point, we have created the base for our birdie. So we've done rounds, we've done increases. We are feeling like pros on this, which is excellent. Next, we're going to be doing color changes. I'm also going to count out these stitches to see whether or not we're going to be increasing. Now, one thing I notice in this particular pattern is that it doesn't have the line breaks here. So don't get confused. This is round 6. There should be a line break there. That's round 7. There should be a line break here. That should be round 8. So I'm going to count the number of stitches. Right now, in our most recent round that we finished, we had 3 single crochets plus an increase. That's 5 stitches in total here. Times 5, that's 25. So let's see if we have 25 stitches here. We've got 7 plus 3, that's 10. 2 plus 3, that's 5. And 10, 25. So we are no longer doing any increases. These are all single crochets. The other way you can tell, there's nothing here that said increase. So we are going to now need our white yarn. So I'm pulling this out here. Remember what I said in the beginning, there is the easy yarn to pull out would probably be whatever one, this one that's sticking out right here. But this is the yarn that's going round and round the outside. You can use this side, but it just means that your yarn's going to always be kind of turning and while you're pulling the yarn, and it'll sort of follow you, all these things. It's much easier if you pull the yarn out from the inside. And then, and I'm not sure if I showed it directly here, but like here, for example, you just pull and it just very nicely comes out and your yarn can stay put where it is without twisting or turning. So if you remember at the very beginning, we had to pull it out. So I'm going to just, again, stick my fingers kind of in here, see where they meet. Okay, and I'm just going to start pulling. And then usually the little bundle will come with it. Let's see if it happens here. So I'm just going to start pulling from somewhere. See what happens. Pop! There it is. So I remember now. People sometimes call this a yarn baby, which is kind of funny. So in here somewhere is the end of the yarn. I think it might even be, is it in here? There it is. So I'm not even going to undo this part. I'm going to just kind of let it come out as it wants to come out. And then here's the end of my white yarn. I will kind of pull this and set it over here on top of Moana and Ariel. So now that's ready for us to use. All right, let's get started. Let's consult this instructions. What does it say? We're going to do 7 stitches blue, and then we'll do 3 stitches white, and then we'll do 2 stitches blue, and then 3 stitches white, and then 10 stitches blue. So I'm going to just remember 7 stitches blue. And when we get to that point, we'll stop and we will double check again. Always double check when you're crocheting because it is a lot of effort and it really sucks to have to pull it out. By the way, fun fact, if you're pulling out previous stitches that you used to make, or even if you sort of undo the whole thing, which I have definitely done, that's called frogging. All right, let's pull this stitch marker out so we can work in the first stitch. Like I said, we're doing this 7 times. We'll do 1 and 2 just to kind of get the yarn out of the way. Pull this and then stick this stitch marker in the first stitch. And try not to, there, see, I did it. I don't know if you can tell, I stabbed through the yarn. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but when you're actually crocheting, you want to try to avoid that. All right, there's 2. 1, 2, and again, I got to double check my hook size. That's my bigger one. That's the one I want. Okay, 1, 2. Then we're going to go in here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We're going to actually do something a little bit tricky here to do the color change. So I'm actually not going to do the 7th stitch yet. I will show you what you need to do. So we're going to do 6 stitches, double check again, 7, 1 blue, and then start to switch to white. Okay, follow me along here. And remember, we're going to do this twice. So you have 2 chances to see this. And then of course you can always rewind if you need to. We're going to stick our hook through the loop like normal, and we're going to pull up a loop. So we have 2. But at this point, we're going to pull up the white into this blue. The reason for that is if I did what I did before, and then try to do white, then the next stitch is going to have a blue body, which is not what we want. So kind of hold this. You might have to do some tightening as you go along, but we're going to hold this. Now we're going to switch to the white. I'm going to hold the white like I did the other one, the other normal crochet time. I'm going to kind of hold these. It's going to feel a little tricky, okay? So don't worry, just do your best, and then you'll keep practicing and you'll be an expert at this in no time. So I hold it. I'm kind of way far out there, but that's okay. I'll figure out how to fix it. I'm going to bring my hook underneath the yarn. I'm going to pull this white yarn through. Okay, now one thing you can kind of do if you'd like is try and tie these two together, and then that kind of helps you out a bit. I'm not going to worry about that right now. You are going to still need this blue yarn, so I'm going to kind of keep it close. I'm going to hold these two as well with my crocheted part here. So I'm going to hold these two. Now we're going to crochet like normal. So we're going to do 3 stitches. I'm going to put my hook under the loops. I'm going to put it underneath those 2 yarns because I'm going to bring them together. And then I'm going to grab a white yarn, pull it up, 2 loops, looks just like before. I'm going to grab yarn and pull it through those 2 loops. And now I just did a color change. One reason why you want to keep these yarns underneath and include them in your stitch is first to anchor this white one so it doesn't have a chance of coming out. The other is to keep your blue close by so that when you color change again, you have it right there with you. Okay, now we're going to go in, we're going to do the second white stitch. Again, we're going to go underneath both of those side yarns, pull this through, and then we're going to grab the yarn and pull it through those 2 as well. And now we have 2 white stitches. This is where we're going to do the similar thing as before, where I am going to pull, let's see, okay, so first I'm going to go underneath here into our normal 2 loops. I'm going to go underneath my 2 other yarns. I'm going to pull the white through, but now this is the case where I want to bring the blue in. So I'm going to bring the blue in here and pull through there. So, and I'm going to tighten this up a little. And now we're going to switch to blue. So I'm still going to do the same thing as before, where I'm going to bring this around with me, and then that way I have it close by. This one I'm actually not completely sure if that's... One thing you can do is actually cut off the white yarn, and then you bring it back in again once you get to the other side of the round. In this case, because we're doing white again in a little bit, we don't want to do that, and then it's not that far off to get back to the white again. So we'll see how it goes. We'll figure this out together. All right, so for now I'm going to keep those 2 whites with me. Now let's check our instructions again. So 3 SE. Now we're going to do 2 blue, and then we're going to go back to white for 3. So picking this up, getting it set up. I want my blue out of the way. I've got a little tangled with the white. That's okay. I'll figure it out later. And then I have my whites here ready to go. Okay, so now I'm doing my blue stitch. I've already got my hook into that part, going underneath the 2 white tails, and then I'm going to grab the blue yarn, and then I'm going to pull it through. Boop. So there we go. We just did our second color change. Look at us. And then we're going to go through, we're going to do 2. Now again, this is the stitch right before the color change, which means we're not going to pull in our original color into the 2 loops. We're going to do the whites. Make sure you find the white that is your long tail, not your short tail. Then you're going to run out of yarn real quick. So I'm going to grab that, keep my other 2 yarns close by. Sorry, I went off camera there. Here I am. Okay, so I'm going to then grab the white and pull it through these 2 blue. There we go. And then I'm going to continue. So this again, now we double check again, just keep double checking. 3 SC white. So we're going to do 3 single crochets white. I'm going to go into this loop. I'm going to go under my 2 yarn tails, grab the white, crochet that in, doop, doop. My stitches are a little tight there. Go in again, make sure I catch it. That's 2. And then this third one is the one right before the color change. So we're gonna only go in, grab white once, and then we're gonna switch to the blue. So I'm gonna grab my blue. My tail's getting a little caught. I'm gonna fix that up. And actually I forgot, I think I want these on this side. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing here? There we go. That's good enough. Okay. I'm gonna pull a little on this white, tighten it up, and then bring in this blue. Oop, sorry, I've changed my camera orientation to try some new things out, and I have a smaller working area than I was expecting. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go around. I am seriously debating, should I keep, I do wanna cut this. I think I'm gonna cut this. So let me set this down and get my scissors out and cut this white yarn piece because I really don't want to carry it through all the way around. So I'm going to cut, I'm not going to cut too much. I'll just cut it right about here. Don't accidentally cut your blue yarn. If you do, we can fix it. But there we go. So now my white yarn is free. Put it aside there. This is a case again where I want to keep bringing these white tails in so that I don't lose this white one. But there we go. Okay. Great. Now we switched over to blue, and then I think we're home free. So I'm checking again. We need 10 blue stitches. So I'm gonna go under here, grab my blue. I'm still bringing my whites along with me, just again to keep it anchored. I don't technically need to keep the other yarn, other white one, but I'll keep it along anyway. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know, I think that's good enough to keep those whites along, so I'm going to move them aside and do it normal. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh, getting close, 9, and 10, and there we go. And this is also our first round where we didn't increase. So this bowl is going to start to make its way up. You might feel that your white ones here, like over here, a little thick. That's just because, one, sometimes the yarn's slightly different, even if it's the same yarn. It's also got that extra yarn underneath. It's totally normal and okay. Look how pretty that is inside. If you want, you can actually tie these two together. That also helps anchor it in, make sure nothing ever gets lost, which is helpful. I've never really had an issue, but I also do this kind of thing to make extra sure. Now, one thing to keep note is when you do come back, yeah, that should be fine. But sometimes if you do a knot in kind of a weird place, it'll block you from doing the next stitch, but this looks fine. Cool. I'll see you in the next round.